Hi, welcome to First Chapter Friday. My name is Lucy, and the book that I am going to be reading from today is called How to Find What You're Not Looking For by Veera, Hiranandani. And this is a relatively new book. It is historical fiction, and it is about an 11-year-old girl named Ariel Goldberg. She lives with her Jewish family in Connecticut. Her family runs a bakery. And the book starts with Ariel's older sister, Leah, running away with a man named Raj, who is an immigrant student from Bombay. And in 1967, when this book takes place, a court case called Loving versus Virginia had just been decided that allowed people of different races to get married. So prior to this time, a marriage between Leah and Raj would have been illegal. But even though that court case was decided in favor of interracial marriage, Raj and Leah's marriage is still questioned by most people, including Leah and Ari's parents. They were hoping that Leah would marry someone Jewish and white, and so they cut contact with Leah completely. Leah and Raj leave and they run away to New York City, and Ariel, called Ari, doesn't hear from her sister anymore. With her sister out of the house, Ari feels that she has to step up and be the good and helpful child. And a lot of the time she feels mad at Leah for leaving her. She's also sad that she doesn't have her sister around. And another thing that's very frustrating for Ari in this book is her difficulty with writing. She has real trouble putting words to paper. The words are in her head, but she struggles to actually physically write them down. And finally, she has a teacher who notices this and tells her that she has something called dysgraphia, which is a difficulty forming letters. Her mother thinks that her dysgraphia is just laziness, not applying herself to learn. And that lack of understanding is a real challenge for Ari throughout this book as well. Something that's really interesting about this book is that it's narrated in the second person, and that's not a narration that you read a lot of. I enjoyed that about it. And each chapter is set up with instructions about how to do something. So that's why it's titled as it is. The first chapter starts with how to be the lazy one. It's harder than you think. First, lie on your messy bed wearing your Wonder Woman pajamas that are too small because you've had them since you were 9. Then, watch your older sister, Leah, pin up her hair for dance class. She sits in her black leotard at the small white vanity, her back straight as a board, a magazine cutout of Paul Newman taped to the corner of her mirror. She uses at least 15 bobby pins for her bun. Count in your head while she sticks the pins in. 1, 2, 3. She's rushing because she has to be on the number 4 bus by 9 a.m. for point class at Madame Duchamp's Dance Academy. She dances there every day except Sunday. You're not even sure how she spends so much time at dance and still does well in school. Leah seems to do well at everything. Not you. You're the lazy one. You're just trying to keep up. But along with all the other things Leah does, she helps you keep up. 4, 5, 6. Ma wishes Leah didn't take dance on Saturdays because of Shabbos, but Leah says it makes no sense for her not to dance if Ma and Daddy work all day at Gertie's, their bakery. Then Ma says Leah's right, and that maybe they should be more observant and not work on Saturdays. Dad says the bakery wouldn't survive if they closed on Saturday in this town, and that's more important. They argue about the rules like that sometimes, how Jewish you're all supposed to be. 7, 8, 9. On pin 10, Leah suddenly stops and puts her hands over her face. Her shoulders start to shake. You lean forward in your bed, confused, to get a closer look. Leah hardly ever cries. You're the crier. It's the only way anyone pays attention to you. You cry when you're sad or mad or when you watch Lassie. Sometimes you even cry when you're extra happy. You get it from Daddy. He's a crier too. Leah manages to keep a smile on her face most of the time. If she's upset, she gets serious and walks away, her shoulders straight, her head held high. But today, on a warm Saturday in early June, as the sun tumbles through the window and the birds chirp and the smell of Ma's Sanka floats in through the bottom of the bedroom door, Leah sobs into her hands, and it terrifies you. Leah, you say, jumping out of bed and over to her side. Don't cry. What's the trouble? She turns to you. She picks up a tissue off the vanity, presses it to her eyes, then blows her nose. If I tell you a secret, will you promise to keep it forever, she says. Forever? Yes, forever, she says. It's the biggest secret I've ever had, and if you don't think you can promise, I won't say it. Keeping a secret is not your favorite thing to do. Secrets make your stomach hurt. You can count on one hand the secrets you've kept. You once took a report card out of the mailbox and hid it in your school bag for a week, but you got caught. Sometimes when you hang out with your friend Jane, you make it seem like you have other friends, but you don't. Occasionally, you steal cookies from Gertie's and keep them in a coffee can in your room. You've never had to keep a really big secret before, and certainly not forever. Leah's cheeks get blotchy, and her eyes start to fill again with tears. Oh, please, she says, I have to tell someone, and I need it to be you. Leah saying she needs you? Is there anything more special than that? Maybe if you knew her secret, some of her specialness will spill over onto you. She bites her lip and grabs your hand. Okay, you say, taking a deep breath. I promise. She holds up her pinky and wraps it around yours. Oh, Ari, something crazy has happened. What? What's happened? A flush of sweat starts collecting on your top lip. I've fallen in love, she says. Your pinkies still linked together, her eyes still locked on yours. You let go of her pinky and take your hand away. You've fallen in love? How? With who? You say. She gets up and starts to pace a little, so you sit down on your bed. You want to give her room. I've never felt this way about anyone. It's like I can see my future, she says. She looks scared when she tells you this, and it makes you feel a little scared. You haven't known anyone in love before. You've watched the soap opera, Days of Our Lives with Ma, but it doesn't look like much fun. It seems that people start having lots of problems when they fall in love. If you think about it, you've been noticing some odd things about Leah, like the way she hums a tune everywhere she goes, even when Mom makes her clean the bathroom on Sundays. She wears her best clothes every day. She leaves a trail of Chanel No. 5 behind her. And she never used to wear perfume. She always seems to be thinking of something else. Who is he? Do I know him? You ask her. As she walks back and forth, she tells you that the boy she's in love with is not a boy at all. He's a young man about to graduate from college. He's already enrolled in graduate school this fall because he wants to keep studying and he doesn't want to get drafted into the Vietnam War. She met him 6 months ago at Rocky's Records in town. He's from India, but he lives here now and works at Rocky's after classes because he loves music and he wants to marry Leah. Married? Now? You can't be serious, you say as your heart pounds in your ears. You don't know what any of this means, and you don't want anyone to take Leah away from you. How would she have any time to be your sister if she got married? It makes you want to give her secret back. I'm 18. Ma got married at 18, she says, her eyebrows turning angry. Lots of girls get married at 18. She presses her hand to her cheeks, as if she's trying to hold herself in. I suppose so, you say, still thinking she's lost her mind. But it's true. You think of Betty Campbell and Donna Marino, 2 girls who got married right after high school. They had their pictures in the local paper, and they looked like the plastic dolls Daddy keeps at the bakery to put on top of wedding cakes. You remember feeling a little sorry for them? Just going straight to the boring grown-up world with no in-between? You thought Leah wanted an in-between. When are you going to tell Ma and Daddy? You ask her. Leah shakes her head. Honestly, I can't even imagine it. I need more time. Remember, you can't utter a word. But this isn't just some silly crush on a boy. This is serious. You'll have to tell them eventually, you say. Leah doesn't reply. Are you really going to get married to a boy from India? Is he Jewish? He's not a boy, Leah says loudly, and anger washes over her face. She takes a deep breath, and of course he's not Jewish. Well, I didn't know. He's Hindu, she continues in a smaller voice. I'm worried about what people will think when we get married. You nod slowly. Leah is the one who's supposed to follow the rules. It's no secret Ma and Daddy want her to go to college and marry someone Jewish. She's already enrolled at Southern Connecticut State for the fall, though if it's anything like your town, there won't be many Jewish boys there. Leah sits back down at the vanity. But I'm also worried about what will happen if we don't. I really love him, she says, and starts to dab her face with her pink powder puff, erasing the streaks her tears left on her cheeks. Sorry, I don't mean to be a drag. It's okay, you say, and go over to her. You put a hand on her shoulder. You'll figure it out. But what you really mean is that she'll figure out that she's not in love or thinking about marrying anyone. And that is chapter 1 of How to Find What You're Not Looking For. And what I love about the way that it's narrated in the second person is that you really get inside Ari's point of view, and she's a wonderful character. She's got a good sense of humor. She worries a lot. But because they're using the second person, you're very immersed in her story right away. So if that sounds interesting to you, and if you like historical fiction, the things that happen in this book, because it takes place in 1967, are very interesting as well, then this would be a good read for you.